You could be sitting in the quietest room in the world, no enemies, no danger, no chaos outside. Yet your mind refuses to let you rest. It whispers fears, digs up regrets, repeats old mistakes like broken records. The truth is this: sometimes the deadliest battlefield is not out there in the streets, not in your job, not in your relationships. It is inside your head. Every human being fights two wars in life. The first is the one with the world, the betrayals, the failures, the struggles we all see. But the second, and far more dangerous, is the war within, the hidden battle against your own thoughts. Because external events may wound you once, but your mind has the power to wound you over and over again. Think about it. How many times have you replayed a painful moment in your head long after it ended? How many times have you convinced yourself you weren't good enough, even when reality proved otherwise? You can escape a toxic environment, but you cannot run from your own mind. That's why most people feel trapped not by the world, but by themselves. And this is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism becomes more than just philosophy. It becomes a weapon. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor surrounded by betrayal and war, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Epictetus, born a slave, taught that freedom begins in the mind, not in chains. Seneca reminded us that peace comes not from controlling the world, but from mastering how we respond to it. These men faced suffering greater than most of us could imagine, yet they discovered a power that still changes lives today. The power to master your inner battlefield. That's what we're here to uncover. Because if you're tired of being beaten down by your own thoughts, if you've had enough of that inner voice that keeps saying, "You're not enough, you'll never make it, no one cares," then this is your turning point. This is the moment you stop being a prisoner of your mind and start becoming its master. In this video, we are going to break down the 7 most brutal mental traps that feed your negative thinking, and we'll use Stoic philosophy as the exact tool to destroy them. Each trap you recognize will cut away another chain holding you back. Each Stoic principle you apply will become a shield, a sword, or a torch to light your path out of mental darkness. This is not for the casual listener who just wants a quick motivational rush. This is for the silent fighter, the one who smiles by day but wrestles shadows by night. The one who is tired of carrying invisible weights that no one else can see. The one who knows that life is too short to be lived as a prisoner of the mind. So here's what I ask of you. Don't just watch. Study this, reflect on this, practice this. Because if you do, you will not just learn how to silence negative thoughts, you will rise above them, stronger than you've ever been. Before we begin, I want you to take part in this with me. Drop a comment with the affirmation, "I am stronger than my negative thoughts." Like this video to spread it to others who are silently fighting the same battle. Share it with someone who needs hope tonight. And if you are serious about building a stronger, calmer, and more resilient mind, subscribe and join our growing community here at True Stoic Way. Because together, we are building an army of warriors who master the mind instead of being mastered by it. Now let's begin the journey. 7 traps, 7 Stoic truths, and a chance to reclaim your power. Trap 1. You are not your thoughts. Here's the first and most liberating truth. You are not your thoughts. That may sound strange at first, because for most of your life you've been told that your thoughts define who you are. But think carefully. How many random, irrational, or even dark thoughts pass through your mind every single day? If every single one of those were truly you, then you'd be changing identities every minute. One moment you're confident, the next you're worthless. One moment you want peace, the next you imagine chaos. That's not identity, that's noise. The Stoics understood this thousands of years ago. Epictetus wrote, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." This means your thoughts don't automatically create suffering. What creates suffering is believing every single thought that pops into your head. A dark cloud drifting across the sky doesn't mean the whole day is ruined. It's simply a cloud passing by. Your thoughts are the same. They appear, they drift, they dissolve. You are the sky. The thoughts are only the clouds. But here's the danger. When you fuse with your thoughts, when you treat them as absolute truth, they begin to shape your identity. I had an anxious thought, so I must be an anxious person. I felt jealousy, so I must be weak. I thought something negative about my relationship, so it must be doomed. These are lies. Thoughts are not commands, they are suggestions, and you always have the power to say no. Think of your mind like a radio station. Just because a song comes on doesn't mean you have to sing along to it. You can switch the station. You can even choose to sit in silence. Negative thoughts are like that song you hate. Annoying, repetitive, but ultimately powerless unless you decide to dance to it. Let's get practical. The Stoics gave us tools, and here's one of the most effective. Write down your thought and interrogate it. Treat it like a judge in a courtroom. Ask questions. Is this thought 100% true? What evidence do I have for it? Would I say this to a friend I love? What would Marcus Aurelius say about this? Will this matter in 5 years? You'll often find that what felt heavy had no real weight. It was just smoke. Another technique. Create distance by labeling your thoughts. Instead of saying, I'm a failure, reframe it as, I'm having the thought that I failed. That one small shift cracks open a space between you and the thought. And in that space, you gain freedom. You are no longer swallowed by the thought. You are standing above it, observing it, choosing what to do with it. Consider real examples. Anxiety often begins with a single, what if? What if they don't like me? Left unchecked, it spirals into, I'm unworthy, nobody likes me, I'll always be alone. But what if you pause and treat it as just a passing cloud? The spiral dies before it begins. Or think of jealousy. You see someone succeed, and the thought creeps in, I'm behind, I'll never catch up. But with Stoic practice, you stop, you breathe, you recognize, this is just a thought. It does not define my worth. Their path is theirs, my path is mine. Every time you detach from your thoughts, you weaken their control over you. Every time you remember that you are the observer, not the prisoner, you reclaim a piece of your power. And that's the real Stoic weapon, awareness. You don't fight negative thoughts with more thoughts. You don't try to crush them with force. You simply see them for what they are. Clouds, radio noise, shadows on the wall, and you let them pass. So the next time your mind whispers, you're not good enough, don't argue, don't obey. Just recognize, I'm having the thought that I'm not good enough. And then watch it drift away. Because you are not your thoughts. You are the one who observes, the one who chooses, the one who remains. If you've ever felt trapped in a storm of your own thinking, I want you to comment right now. I am stronger than my negative thoughts. Trap 2. Stop arguing with reality. One of the deepest roots of human suffering comes from this single thought. This should not have happened. Think about the moments that still haunt you, the breakup you didn't want, the betrayal you never saw coming, the opportunity that slipped through your fingers. Yes, the event itself hurt, but it's the ongoing resistance, the constant replay of, it wasn't supposed to be this way, that turns pain into torture. Here is the brutal truth. When you fight reality, reality always wins. You cannot rewrite the past. You cannot undo what has already unfolded. And yet, most of us waste years of our lives struggling against what cannot be changed. The Stoics, men who faced wars, exile, slavery, and loss, discovered something that most of us overlook. Pain is unavoidable, but suffering, endless, repetitive suffering, is optional. Epictetus taught, do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go well. This is the essence of amor fati, the love of fate. It doesn't mean pretending that pain feels good. It doesn't mean forcing a fake smile. It means accepting reality as it is, instead of wasting your soul wishing it were different. Imagine this. A man is caught in a storm. He curses the rain, he screams at the sky, he insists, it shouldn't be raining. Does the storm stop? No. Meanwhile, another man accepts the rain. He pulls on a coat, walks forward, and gets where he needs to go. Both felt the rain, but only one carried double the suffering. Ask yourself, how often have you been the first man? How often have you prolonged your own misery by replaying the same protest? It shouldn't have happened. It wasn't supposed to go like this. I can't believe this is real. Here's the Stoic weapon. Every time that voice appears, answer it with this sentence: but it did. So now what? Those 4 words flip the power back into your hands. You stop being a victim chained to the past, and you become the author of what happens next. The exam was failed. The relationship ended. The business collapsed. Yes, it happened. But now what? What will you do with the time and energy that remains? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every day, you have power over your mind, not outside events. What happened is outside your control. But your response, your next step, that is entirely yours. Consider this example. You didn't get the job you wanted. The untrained mind says, I'm worthless. I'll never succeed. The Stoic mind says, the outcome wasn't mine to control, but my effort, my learning, my resilience, that is always mine. So what's next? This shift doesn't erase the sting. It doesn't make disappointment fun, but it removes the poison that keeps the wound open. Pain will pass. Suffering is a choice. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you catch yourself spiraling in regret, pause and speak the words out loud. But it did. So now what? At first it may feel mechanical, but with practice, you'll feel the shift. The anger softens, the shame loosens, and suddenly you see a small door opening. A door that leads forward instead of backward. Because peace does not come from rewriting the past. Peace comes from accepting what is and choosing your response anyway. This is not weakness. This is not giving up. This is strength. The kind of strength that allows you to walk through fire without letting the flames live inside you. So the next time your mind screams, this shouldn't have happened, remind yourself, it did. And now, the only question that matters is what you will do next. If this Stoic truth resonates with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who is still wrestling with the past. You may be the reason they finally stop fighting reality and start reclaiming their power. Trap 3. Don't trust the first emotion. Have you ever noticed how powerful the very first wave of emotion can be? It crashes suddenly, it feels overwhelming, and in that moment it convinces you that it's the truth. Anger makes you believe someone is your enemy. Fear makes you believe danger is certain. Jealousy makes you believe you are less. But here's the Stoic truth. The first emotion is rarely the final wisdom. Your emotions are like ocean waves. The first one always hits the hardest, but it always passes. If you build your life on that first wave, you will drown. But if you learn to ride it out, to wait for the waters to calm, you will see clearly again. Most people make the mistake of obeying that first emotion. A friend doesn't reply to a message, and immediately the mind screams, they don't care about me. In reality, maybe they were busy, sick, or simply forgot. But by trusting the first emotion, you risk destroying a friendship. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor carrying the weight of the world, reminded himself, the first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are. Imagine that, a man with armies, betrayals, and politics on his shoulders still warning himself not to trust his first reaction. If he needed that wisdom, how much more do we? So how do we practice this Stoic discipline? First, pause. When an emotion surges, don't move immediately. Take 1 breath, maybe 10. The emotion wants you to rush into action, but wisdom lives in delay. Second, name it. Instead of saying, I'm furious, say, I am feeling anger. Instead of, I'm weak, say, I am feeling fear. By naming the emotion, you create distance. It's not who you are, it's what you're experiencing. Third, apply the Stoic tool known as the view from above. This practice asks you to zoom out, far out. Imagine looking at your life not from inside your head, but from the sky, or even from space. From that distance, how small does today's embarrassment look? How small does this argument, this traffic jam, this delay really appear? Perspective shrinks pain down to size. Think about it. A spilled drink feels like the end of the world when you're in the moment. But from space, it's invisible. The insult that ruined your morning is nothing against the scale of your entire life. The wave passes. The water calms. Here's a real-world scenario. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Instantly, anger floods your chest. The first emotion demands revenge, shouting, honking, maybe chasing them down. But if you pause and zoom out, you realize this is one driver, on one day, on one road, in a lifetime of roads. You can let it go. The wave crashes, and you are free. Or imagine a coworker criticizes you harshly. The first emotion says, "They hate me, I'm not respected." But after waiting, you may realize it was stress speaking, not hatred. By waiting, you saved yourself days of unnecessary bitterness. This doesn't mean emotions are useless. They are signals, but they are not orders. Anger might show you a boundary has been crossed. Fear might warn you of risk. But they are messengers, not masters. The Stoic goal is not to erase emotions, but to govern them. Every time you resist the urge to act blindly on the first wave, you strengthen your inner fortress. Every pause is a brick. Every moment of perspective is another wall. Over time, your emotions will still arrive, but they will not control the kingdom of your mind. So the next time anger, fear, jealousy, or sadness strikes, remember, the first wave always crashes hard, but it always fades. Wait for the second wave. Wait for the calm. In the calm, wisdom appears. To anchor this practice, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I pause. I choose. I don't react blindly. Trev 4. The stories you tell yourself. Most of the time, it isn't the event that breaks you. It's the story you tell yourself about the event. Think carefully. A friend doesn't reply to your message. The fact is simple. Your phone shows no response, but your mind begins weaving a story. They don't care about me. I'm not important. They're avoiding me. The pain doesn't come from the silence. It comes from the story. Your boss gives you a short reply in a meeting. Fact, they said a sentence, nothing more. Story, they hate me. I'm terrible at my job. I'll probably be fired soon. Again, it's not the situation. It's the meaning you attach to it. Marcus Aurelius understood this when he wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That's the key. You have the power to change the story. The mind is a natural storyteller. It cannot leave facts alone. It decorates them, twists them, exaggerates them. And unfortunately, most of its stories are written in ink made of fear, insecurity, and past wounds. A delayed text becomes rejection. A mistake becomes a lifelong curse. A harsh tone becomes proof that no one values you. But the Stoic knows, facts are neutral. Stories are optional. So how do you separate fact from fiction? Use this exercise. 1. Write down the raw fact. Keep it clean, without judgment. Example, my message wasn't replied to for 2 days. 2. Write the story your mind created. Example, they don't care. They're ignoring me. I'm not worth their time. 3. Challenge the story. Ask yourself, do I know this is true? Is there another explanation? Have I ever done the same thing without bad intentions? This simple process often breaks the illusion. You realize that the story you're suffering from is not reality. It's imagination dressed as truth. Let's ground this with another example. Suppose someone you love speaks to you in a cold tone. The fact, they used fewer words than usual. The story, they're upset with me. I must have done something wrong. Maybe they don't love me anymore. Without awareness, this story can spiral into insecurity, conflict, and even broken relationships. But with Stoic practice, you pause and ask, what are the facts? Only that their words were short. What else could explain it? Maybe they were tired, distracted, or carrying their own burden. Do I know for certain it was about me? No. The story collapses, and peace returns. The danger of false stories is that they grow. A single seed of assumption, watered with attention, can grow into a forest of suffering. But the moment you realize, this is only a story my mind is telling, you cut it at the root. The Stoics remind us, you are the editor of your inner world. Thoughts will always appear like drafts, but you decide which ones get published. A wise editor doesn't let false stories go to print. Think about your own life. How many times have you wasted days or weeks over a story that turned out to be untrue? How many friendships have been damaged, not by the facts, but by the interpretations layered on top of them? How many nights of sleep have been stolen by stories that never had evidence? You cannot always control the facts of life. People will still speak, events will still happen, accidents will still occur. But you always control the meaning. You decide whether the story becomes a tragedy, a comedy, or simply a neutral note in the background of your day. So the next time your mind begins to spin its tale of doom, pause. Separate fact from fiction. Ask the hard questions. Rewrite the page. Because you are not the pain, you are the author. And every author has the right to edit. If you've ever rewritten your own story, even once, I want you to affirm it here. I control the story. Trap 5. Your environment feeds your thoughts. Let's be brutally honest. Most negative minds are not born, they are built. And one of the most powerful forces shaping your inner dialogue is the environment you live in every single day. Your mind is like a garden. Every person you meet, every piece of content you consume, every space you occupy is planting seeds inside that garden. Some seeds grow into calm, strength, and clarity. Others grow into weeds of anxiety, gossip, and self-doubt. And here's the truth. If you let weeds grow unchecked, they will choke out everything good. Seneca gave us timeless advice. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. He knew what modern science confirms. Our thoughts are contagious. We catch them from the people around us, just as we catch their habits and moods. Think about the people closest to you. Do they lift you up, or do they drain you? If you spend most of your time with complainers, gossips, or pessimists, your mind begins to echo their voices. Without realizing it, you absorb their worldview, their fears, their bitterness. And soon, you mistake their poison for your own thoughts. It's not just people. What about the endless scroll of social media? Every meme, every comparison, every angry rant is another seed thrown into your garden. If you feed your mind with chaos and insecurity, why are you surprised when your thoughts echo chaos and insecurity? Even your physical space matters more than you think. A cluttered desk, a messy room, a noisy environment. These conditions keep your nervous system in low-level stress. The Stoics valued simplicity and order, not because they were obsessed with tidiness, but because they knew external disorder breeds internal disorder. Chaos outside leads to chaos inside. Here's the hardest truth. You cannot kill negative thoughts if you are feeding them every single day. So what's the solution? A 7-day environment detox. For 1 week, commit to this. 1. Cut the gossip and drama. Don't participate in conversations that tear others down. Silence is better than poison. 2. Clean your space. Organize your room, your desk, your home. Give your mind the gift of clarity. 3. Audit your social media. Unfollow accounts that trigger insecurity or rage. Replace them with ones that inspire discipline, wisdom, and growth. 4. Choose your circle carefully. Spend more time with people who make you want to be better, even if that means spending less time with those who hold you back. 5. Create silence. Every day, spend at least 10 minutes in a quiet environment without screens, without noise, just letting your mind breathe. Try it for 7 days and you'll notice something incredible. The storm in your head doesn't disappear overnight, but it weakens. Not because the thoughts magically vanish, but because you've stopped feeding them fuel. The Stoics lived this way. Their lives were stripped of unnecessary excess. Their routines were simple, their surroundings orderly, their conversations purposeful. They understood that discipline in the external world builds discipline in the internal world. Imagine yourself as the guardian of your mental garden. Every choice, who you talk to, what you watch, how you live, either plants weeds or cultivates flowers. Which one will you allow to grow? Because the environment is not neutral. It's shaping you whether you realize it or not. You can either drift into the chaos of others, or you can consciously create an environment that nourishes your mind. If you want a quieter, stronger mind, I challenge you. Take the 7-day environment detox and share your experience in the comments. Your story may inspire someone else to clear their own mental garden. Trap 6. You're tired, not broken. Sometimes the storm in your head isn't proof that something is wrong with you. It's proof that you're exhausted. When you're drained, physically, mentally, or emotionally, every challenge feels heavier than it truly is. A short text feels like rejection. A small mistake feels like failure. A simple delay feels like disaster. The problem isn't that you're broken, it's that you're running on empty. The Stoics understood this well. They weren't robots who ignored the body, they respected it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." But here's the catch. You cannot revoke that pain clearly if your nervous system is drowning in fatigue. Too many people try to think their way out of negative spirals when what they really need is not more thinking, it's rest. A tired mind magnifies problems, while a rested mind sees them for what they are. So what can you do? Practice energy management. The Stoic way. Sleep early. Even one good night of rest can silence half the noise in your head. Take a walk without your phone. The Stoics valued nature because silence and movement clear the fog. Write down your worries. Don't carry them in your head. Put them on paper, then step away. Say no to draining activities. Protect your energy like a warrior guards his shield. When you honor your body and your energy, you realize something life-changing. Your mind was never broken. It was just exhausted. Like a soldier after battle, you didn't need fixing. You needed recovery. So the next time your thoughts scream louder than usual, ask yourself, am I weak or am I simply tired? More often than not, the answer will be the second. Affirm this truth. I am not broken. I am just resting. And if this reminder feels necessary for you or someone you love, share this video to remind others that exhaustion is not failure. Sometimes the most stoic act you can take is not to fight harder, but to rest wisely. Trap 7. Gratitude kills. Negativity. You might think gratitude is just a soft idea, a nice little habit for people who want to think positive. But the truth is deeper. Gratitude is a weapon. It is one of the most powerful tools you have against negativity because it forces your mind to see what is real, not just what is missing. When negativity takes hold, it creates tunnel vision. Suddenly, all you see is what's wrong. Nothing works out. Everyone is better than me. Life is unfair. But gratitude cracks open that tunnel and reminds you of what still stands strong in your life. Seneca said it best. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Most negative thinking is rooted in lack, the sense that something is missing. Gratitude shatters that illusion by pointing to what you already have. Think about it. You may feel lost in your career, but perhaps you still have health, safety, and the chance to start again. Your relationship may be struggling, but maybe you've gained self-awareness, resilience, and a clearer vision of your worth. You may feel lonely, but you still have memories, lessons, and the ability to build new connections. Gratitude is not pretending everything is fine. It is the courage to say, yes, this hurts, but I still choose to see what remains. Here's how you can put it into practice. Every morning or evening, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be grand. It could be a meal, a friend, a memory, a small win, even the simple fact that you woke up breathing. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to notice blessings instead of only problems. At first, it may feel forced, but stick with it. Slowly, you'll notice the fog lifting. That tightness in your chest eases. That storm in your head quiets. Because gratitude works like an anchor, holding you steady when waves of negativity try to pull you under. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it balances it. It doesn't deny suffering, but it prevents suffering from defining your entire story. So the next time your mind tries to drown you in lack, stop and ask, what am I forgetting to appreciate right now? The answer is often closer than you think. To make this real, I want you to comment below one thing you are grateful for today. Because gratitude shared becomes even stronger. and your answer might be the reminder someone else desperately needs. Conclusion: reclaiming your inner fortress. We've walked through the battlefield of the mind together, and now it's time to gather the weapons you've discovered. You've learned that you are not your thoughts, they are clouds drifting across the sky, not the sky itself. You've learned to stop arguing with reality, to drop the exhausting fight against what has already happened and instead ask, but it did. So now what? You've discovered that the first emotion is not the final truth, that wisdom lives in the pause, in the choice to wait for clarity. You've seen how the stories you tell yourself can break you, and how separating fact from fiction allows you to become the author instead of the prisoner. You've faced the uncomfortable truth that your environment shapes your inner world, and that clearing away drama, clutter, and noise makes room for peace. You've realized that sometimes you're not broken. You're just tired, and that rest is not weakness, but wisdom. And finally, you've held the sword of gratitude, the weapon that slices through negativity by reminding you of the blessings already in your hands. 7 traps, 7 Stoic tools, each one a shield, a torch, or a compass to guide you back to strength. But let me remind you, this is not about chasing perfection. The Stoics never promised that negative thoughts would vanish forever. They promised something far greater, the ability to face them, master them, and keep moving forward anyway. This is not a one-time battle. It's a daily practice, a discipline, a way of life. Remember this image. You are the sky. Thoughts are only clouds. They may gather, they may darken, they may storm, but they are temporary. The sky remains vast, open, and unbroken. That sky is you. And if no one has told you this today, let me say it now. You are doing better than you think. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are here, aware, and choosing to rise above the noise. That awareness alone is victory. So what's next? Practice. Write down your thoughts. Question them. Release them. Accept reality instead of resisting it. Pause before reacting. Rewrite your stories. Detox your environment. Rest when you are weary. And anchor yourself in gratitude every single day. This is how you build an inner fortress. Not overnight, not without effort, but brick by brick, choice by choice, moment by moment. And now I want to invite you to take the next step. Don't just keep this wisdom to yourself. Share it, spread it, live it, because there are countless silent fighters out there, people smiling on the outside while drowning on the inside, who need these tools as much as you do. So here's what you can do right now. Like this video so more people can find it. Share it with a friend who needs hope. Comment your favorite lesson to lock it into your mind. And most importantly, subscribe to True Stoic Way. This is not just a channel, it's a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a community of warriors who refuse to be slaves to their own minds. Together we are building a fortress of resilience, clarity, and strength. The battle inside your head is real, but you are not powerless. You are not broken. You are not alone. Stand tall, train daily, live the Stoic way, because your mind, once mastered, becomes your strongest weapon.